it going? As you can see, we're walking through some weather over here. I hope wherever you're at, the sun's shining a little bit better than this. But we'll make it through. We always do. God bless. Thank you for checking out the video. I appreciate the look. Okay, I wanted to record this video because it's an important thing going on that needs to be called out. And there's well, I'll just say it straight up. There's a witch out here that isn't beholden to time. This witch isn't restricted to time as a dimension the way that we know it. And I'm not even sure it's restricted to a single position either. Meaning, I don't know if it's able to occupy like more than one space at one point in time, as in existing in multiple places as multiple things, all cooperating with each other to achieve whatever it is. But now this witch, you can bump into this witch right now, and the things that happen will then change because of your interaction. Now, say you bump into this thing and it decides to take up residence as a person later on that lives its whole life in a specific manner to end up in a specific point, so that whatever happens to you next, you run into it again. Does that make sense? I had a circumstance. Maybe I won't discuss that quite right now, but I hope that makes sense. Like, this thing will move forward and backwards through time, taking up space and fulfilling whatever requirements it needs to in order to achieve its goal. Now, you can bump into this witch in the workplace, in the community, wherever it may be. And it seems like everything that it tries to do is just debase things, erode things, chip away and chisel. If you're at a workplace, it tends to be that employee who, I don't know, doesn't do much of anything, or only does just enough so that somehow they don't get fired, right? Just enough to slip under the radar. Or they always have that little idea that leads everybody off course. That little idea that takes everybody away or changes opinion, causes people to start pointing fingers. Everyone, you've experienced this. You know, the one that while everybody's looking out at a clear picture, they figure out a way to frame it in darkness. Now, let's say you're at some place where there's high standards, and you think that the people that you're with couldn't be, they couldn't be led astray. They would stand up in the middle of any storm. They could always be trusted and counted on, because one, the way to get into this organization, it just requires so much of people. Two, it's so easy to lose your way and get caught and thrown out of the organization that there's no way anything shouldn't be in there that shouldn't be. But this witch will do everything, can live in this world meeting every expectation that we have, never faltering, being that thing that we look up to, that we think is right or true, And then right when you're looking the other way, or when nobody else is looking and only you, the witch reaches out and deceives you, reveals itself in some way. It figures out a way to lay its hooks in you. It gets into your mind, your body, your heart like bacteria. It's in the workplace like a colony. It wants to ensure that no matter what happens, it doesn't matter what happens. All it wants to make sure that happens is that Christ is not looked to as king. That Jesus is questioned, that any strength in the community is broken, that people are pointing at each other, blaming, that no one is taking responsibility for what they owe, for anything that's in the past that they have done, they write off. There's always a reason, an explanation. And then it's right back into zombie mode. Twiddling through the day, no real direction. So I just wanted to talk about this one. I've been running into this witch quite frequently recently. Now, if you have the vision, you see it work. The connections that happen, the influence that it has. It'll drive you insane, really. Drive a person to madness. Saying, no way nobody else sees this. How can I be the only one that sees this? How is this going on? But if this is you, if you're struggling with this, if you got stuff going on in your world, if you got things that can't be explained or people aren't seeing, this is most likely what's going on. But don't be dismayed. Don't give in. When you're trying to stay on a diet and it becomes that piece of candy, turn your back to it. Keep your homes secure. Identify that which is wrong. Look closely. Inspect the things that you're bringing into your home. If there's children's entertainment that's being piped into your TV or on a DVD or a Blu-ray, or look at it closely. Watch it. Listen closely. If you notice that they're sneaking in adult humor into your children's stuff, that's that little foot in the door that they take. Now, your children may not realize it at the time, but if there's sexual humor being put into your children's stuff, you know that's not of God. That's not the influence of Jesus. This is the kind of stuff that you need to keep out of your home. And it's not a question of like, is it happening? How can I be sure? I'm telling you, it's happening. And it's been happening for a long time. Here's a big call out right now, Disney. There's plenty of people in this world who have been shown things, or told, or talked to about Disney. First off, from way back in the day, hiding sexual things. The animation being drawn by witches or under the influence of witchcraft, pointing to, demonstrating. I gotta double up on that word. Nah, it's all right. But these types of things are going on, but it goes beyond that. It goes into YouTube. It goes into Netflix. Netflix is a terrible one. Everything on there has become a vessel to hide what you don't expect to be there. Now, if you think that the dark forces in this world don't understand psychology better than we do, then it's time to open up, open your eyes, wake up. They've known about psychology of humans for a long time, and they've been using it against us for a long time, influencing us in ways that we don't realize. It's a piece of wisdom we've just recently come upon, but we haven't even really figured out what we're using it for. The more we learn about psychology, the more we do what with it? Put it into advertising. We start trying to trick each other into buying more stuff, and we figured out if we orient this box this close to this color signature, all of a sudden we've got a 10% increase in the sales that we've achieved. So we know that there's some stuff going on behind the decision-making process that we can use. And when I say use, I mean use it. Use each other. Turn each other into commodities. Take advantage of. This is where we're failing. But this is where the enemy has been winning in their battle. Because once we learn this piece of information, we didn't take it and go, wait a second. We actually have some information that can help us to better protect ourselves. We took it and we went to capitalize on it. First and foremost, let's make some money on it, right? Man, that soul is a profitable little thing. So you gotta protect yourself. It's these small things, these psychological influences that we don't even notice are going on. Oh gosh, what was it? You know, it may look like nothing's there. It may look that it's just one small piece. But when you start capturing all the pieces together, it's like it's an interwoven basket. And if part of it's there, it means it's connected to something else. And if it's connected to something else, it's in order to prop something else up. I know this is extremely vague, and I'm sorry to leave it so. But these things that we take in, they're a playground for the spiritual influences in this world. But you have to be very clear-cut, sharp to the point of saying what you're going to defend yourself from. You're at the gate. Don't forget that. Now, when you run into this witch in the environment, and it's trying to manipulate or influence you, it's a simple foot down, no thank you. If something is trying to tempt you, you know that it's not of God. Because when Jesus was asked to teach a simple prayer to pray, he made sure to include, lead me not into temptation. And there's a specific reason that he did that. Extremely wise and choiceful with his words. If that temptation is there, it's not of the Father. Every little piece is attempting to move you closer to the edge. You may be on a solid foundation, but every inch towards the edge of failure, falling off, deconstruction, self-destruction, finger pointing, decimation of a community. It's all there, and it's all in the attempts that are going on. So I really appreciate you listening. Hit me up if you got any information about what you've been seeing. I was going to share with you, but God told me to hold fast on the one that kind of brought all this to mind recently. But it's a trip, man. It's a scary thing when you see it going on. But it's only, hey, if you're going through it, it's only scary if you forget who's in charge, who's actually running the ship. Because the only thing these things have is influence. It's been deception from the very start. Since the garden and directly outside of it. All of our sin has just been influenced through deception. Tricked into thinking we have to do it. But we got to remember who our king is. And that we can set that down. We don't have to pick up any weapon that the enemy has forged. We don't have to run on any footmarch that the enemy has devised. And we don't have to drive that weapon forward on anybody that enemy wants us to. And if at any point we realize that we have done so and not realized it, which extra guilty here, extremely guilty. There's going to be a lot of people who wake up and realize that they've been guilty of this too. Our Father is nothing but forgiveness. And He's just going to be so happy to see some of our eyes opening. That no longer does He have to wait, hoping that His children are going to wake up. That He knows that now they're awakening. So God bless you. Thank you for listening. I'll get up with y'all soon. Take care.